Hello, Aquarius. This is the month of January 2025. You've got some really big shifts going on when it comes to your finances, and it's mostly very good. And some complications in relationship, followed by some need to dive into some work projects from the past, and also go back to health matters that you may have abandoned that could definitely increase your physical well-being. So welcome to the month of January. We're going to break it down into chronological events each single week so you can follow the sky and take some notes. I also talk about where the major planets go. We're using astrology to time your best life. It is a navigational tool. It's like a weather device. Go out with the umbrella when you need it and the parasol for the sun when you need it. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. My name is Lori Lothian, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, of course. Fixed stars and minor asteroids are the really cool part of astrology, and that's all in my regular content all month long on my channel. If you would like to support this channel and help me continue to grow, but also get your navigational guidance for 2025, a 2-hour video, some of them are longer than 2 hours, a PDF guidebook, you can download the audio, download the video, right? Audio video format. You can access a hidden link to an unlisted video. It's all the same, but different ways to receive the content. And my PDF guidebook for each sign is written for you by me. If you want that content, it's my fundraiser. It helps me get video editors, timestampers, researchers even. I just hire people to help me. I buy equipment I need. This laptop is getting very old and it's falling down on the job. I'll be getting a new laptop next year with the funds I'm raising. Give me a hand. Thank you. Let's talk about your sky. I'm one of you. I have an Aquarius rising. Listen today for your rising sign if you like. That's your character in the game of life. Your sun sign is everything about your career and purpose, often. Your moon sign is about your nest and home, often. And using those three indicators, you could try all three and see how it feels. Does it come true? Is it more reliable? I think I'm more in my solar essence, and I think my solar charts are more accurate as a Aries, but you check out you and then tell me what you jive with the most. Now, here we have the sky. And this is January, and we're going to talk about planets and where they are. But let's start off with the elephant, and there's two elephants in the room. The North Node will be moving, all right? A fated, destined change of the node of Rahu. Volume up, increase, second house earnings. Last time Rahu went here, volumed up, increased, was 2006, 7, 8. So that's comparison. And back in the day, I think it was 97, 98, 99. Go back in time. This is North Node Pisces, amplification of money, resources, and earnings and possessions. Okay, that's what it is. It starts in January. Again, January 11th of this year, and doesn't end until middle of summer 2026. You're beginning this story again. History rhymes. Go back and compare notes. So in January, after the 11th, you begin to see an increase in your financial well-being. That's what it means. Yeah, you. But there's going to be some complicity with Venus exalting your second house and helping the North Node increase the gains as well in very lasting, enduring ways. It's a bit complicated. We'll be talking about that when we get to the breakdown of the chronology of the month ahead. Now, we're going to go through each of the planetary placements and where they are, what it means for you in January, and then we'll break it down to a week by week, day by day. On January the 8th to the 27th, Mercury will head into the sign of Capricorn after spending 2 months in Sagittarius. So now he's up here as we go to January 1st, but then on the 8th, he trundles over to Capricorn. Let's say this. Mercury was helping you with career gains and dreams and goals and aligning yourself with your dharma a little bit and what your wishes were for your life. Mercury was giving you some guidance as he went direct and retrograded back and forth here. Starting November, he was here. Now he leaves January the 8th. So now you've finished figuring it out and you're ready to move forward, but it has to dip into the 12th house first. And this is a solitude house. Mercury's ideas and communication, sometimes writing, but just things you want to do in the solitude places of your life. And Mercury here can have you doing a lot of communicating from solitudinous places, downtime for your mind, paying attention to your dreams, maybe planning or taking a trip abroad or in a far off distant place, a land, January 8th through to the 27th. Then Venus is moving through into the sign of Pisces on January 3rd till February 3rd, adding fuel to the nodal fire, as well, adding a tsunami of exaltation. Okay, let's call it a tsunami of exaltation She's powerful here to the North Node that has moved here as of the 11th. So let's take a look at the sky when we can see that happening here. So Venus amplifies the node and it increases your financial resources, your possessions, and your earnings. Money gets better. Possessions get better. And you start to feel this January the 3rd when she first gets here. But then by the time the node enters in here by the 12th, you're exquisitely placed between the 11th or 12th of the month of January to feel this increase financially, certainly through to about the 18th of the month. That's a really good money week for you in some regard. And we'll get to the complication part later, but just know that your money, earnings, resources are on the menu. Facial rejuvenation, right? Especially with Saturn there. You're feeling old and wrinkly. This is like get your dermabrasion, laser treatment, LED red light, get your teeth cleaned, get your veneers done, get your nose job, get your face beautified, get your physical facial area prettified. You can even do your hair under this transit because your hair frames the face. And so this is about the beauty of the jaw, the lips, the teeth, the nose, the face, the kind of beautification process can be coming up for you, especially if you with Saturn, if you feel old, I'd be a little bit worried about on the 18th to the end of the month though, because that's when she's closed with malefics. You won't like the haircut or the beautification procedure goes sideways, or it's just not the best outcome that you wanted. So try to get all those things done before the 18th of January, between January 3rd and the 18th. Mars is moving into his retrogradation in the sign of Leo on January the 6th. We open the month. He's sitting up at the beginning of the month. He's still in Leo. I just advanced the chart. And then he retrogrades back. You're going to notice, however, please do pay attention to this. So January 1st to the 3rd is pretty gnarly. Wait till we get to the breakdown opposite Pluto, Mars. But the point I want to make is this. On January the 6th, when he retrogrades into the sign of Cancer, he's just going to be returning to a part of your sky that he was traveling in the months of September and October, mostly to the part of the sky he was journeying through in October. What did you do, though, September and October to fix your body, create better health routines? What did you do regarding work and work matters? You're going back over old ground. For example, I went on the autoimmune protocol diet, and that started September. Literally September 4th when he entered my 6th house. And I broke away from it November 4th when he left that part of our sky, right? So November 4th, he entered our marriage house and we separated from a loved one, or we argued with a loved one, or a loved one was really gnarly in our lives, or we had some conflicts with trolls online. Can I tell some stories? Or we had conflicts with business partners and alliances. Okay. Or legal contracts. But anyway, he's leaving. Hallelujah, right? He's leaving this part of our 7th house sky. And it will indicate that all of July, all of January through to February 23rd or so, he's still retrograde. So those are times not to make major decisions regarding work matters. Don't start a new job, don't launch a new business endeavor. It's really not a great time to get a new pet, anything to do or forge a new rental contract as a landlord or a leasee. Wait until he goes direct on February 23rd, and then yes to all of those things through until April the 18th, for he is going to be there in this 6th house all the way until April the 18th. And then he pops into your 7th for 2 months. All right. Mars is a god of lawsuits and a house of lawsuits. Any lawsuits from the past, litigation, legal issues that you're dealing with that haven't been completed, Mars is going back to tidy up loose ends so he can go direct again on February 23rd and finish the job in the house of lawsuits by the god of lawsuits. So there's a downside there. Eliminating debt is good. You can pay off a credit card, a mortgage, or a big chunk of debt when he retrogrades into your 6th house. It's debt you accumulated a while ago, so old debt can be cut away, and that's a good side of this as well. Jupiter is till February the 4th, moving retrograde through Gemini, and he entered this part of your sky the 3rd week of May of 2024. Well, Gemini for you is your house of children, creativity, entrepreneurship, babies that you birth, baby books, baby businesses, maybe creative art projects, romantic love. Jupiter could be expanding all of those things for you, giving you more truth and wisdom and goodness. However, he is retrograde. And so retrograde Jupiter is deepening the bounty, going inward, reassessing what's true and knowing the truth. Is this love partner and sex partner for me? Is this business project or entrepreneurial creative project the right direction? He's rethinking it until February 4th. And he is direct February 4th, all the way through to June the 9th. And then you know the answers and you begin to take bounteous, opportunistic, juicy, prosperous action and go forward. Now, you can win lottery tickets when Jupiter's here. If you win during the retrograde in January, it's an old ticket that you find under your sofa, or it's a kind of lottery that, you've played in the past, know your limit, play within it. I need water. I'm talking all day. I had 4 hours sleep, guys. I'm recording this on 4 hours sleep or something like that. So I'm a zombie. So please be kind. There's a lot of solar storms right now, and I just figured out that I'm sensitive to them. Yeah, go figure, eh? Whew. Coronal mass ejections in my sleep are not compatible. Your children are the 5th house, and remind you that Jupiter is blessing your children and protecting your children, retrograde or direct, and your children are protected right now if you have them. And you could get a grandchild out of this by the 9th of June that you hear you're going to be a grandparent. So keep that in mind too. Now we're going to go and break it down into the chronological order of the month ahead. Let me get my cheat sheet handy. January 1st to the 4th, Mars is opposite Pluto. This could sever a long-term existing relationship, business contract, business client, or you could have the troll from hell. I thought I already had the troll from hell. She tried to blackmail me that if I didn't stop some guy named Steve, who's got some Christian rhetoric on my comments, like God loves us all, Jesus saved the world, that she was going to extort me and she was going to actually report me to YouTube. And she's thumbs downing all my videos until I block him from the comments. Are you kidding me? Of course, I blocked her. And I took screenshots of her harassment if I have to report her to YouTube next time. So if I thought it was bad already, so that's me, I'm Aquarius rising, then it's bad. Someone's got a sharp knife, they're going to point it at you, and you've been dealing with them already, because this is where Mars was traveling already after he got in this part of your sky, November the 4th. It's not a new troll. It's not a new separation or conflict with a loved one. It's not a new legal contractual battle. It's old. You've been here since November 4th dealing with something like this. Now, literally, you may cut away and or sever from somebody. It doesn't have to be your love partner. It can be some significant relationship. You're just done. Or like a significant client, you're just done. Or even the idea for me of seeing clients, I'm pretty well almost just done. No more one-on-one work. I'm phasing right out of that in 24. Yes, I'm 5. I'm still seeing people, but I'm not seeing very many anymore. So there's things like that you're dealing with during this retrograde opposition the first 3 days of January. Then on the next step into the month, the Capricorn sun on January 4th through to the 6th will end up in a beautiful stabilizing flow to Saturn. Sun is about something you want to light up in the house of addictions and self-undoing, in the house of solitude and things you do alone, in the house of far foreign shores and lands. That's where the sun travels. It's also revenue generated from international sources. And the sun is lighting up that part of your chart and flowing to Saturn in a stabilizing way for resources and financial matters, or stabilizing a kind of dry Jan vibe, stabilizing a constraint on what you're eating or drinking so that your body and health is better. And the sun is looking deeper under the surface, past lives, vows of chastity, poverty, childhood origin, family origin stuff. You might go under the surface a bit with a flashlight into the Akashic records and figure out what the hell, why am I smoking weed on the daily? Why do I love my wine so much? Whatever ails you, and get some control over your mouth with Saturn here. And exalted Venus, maybe find another pleasurable substance, that replaces the thing that you don't want to be doing in yourself and doing. All right, January 10th to the 14th, Mars is in an alchemical trine to Neptune. Mars is actions and decisions, but he's retrograde. So actions and decisions to do with work and health matters, as Mars is going to be here in that 6th house and trining Neptune in the house of things you put in your mouth. And Neptune rules addictions. Again, more cut, eliminate with ease and flow, addictive substances and escapist substances substances that you ingest. So this is good for that. This is also kind of about if it's expenditures, buying or selling or saving money or earnings and resources, then there's something good coming through that's flowing, easy, gentle from a work environment, but it will connect you to things that you're already doing in the month of October. And it's a second pass, second wave, retrograde, go back and refine it, rethink it, revision it maybe, because Neptune rules vision, so that you can get it ready for going forward after February 23rd. So again, we're not launching something new in the work environment. We're going back to ponder something about work that we were already dealing with in October, so that when we go forward February 23rd in the sixth house, we are ready to go on solid ground. Use your visionary imagination, Neptune, to make decisions and actions about the long game in work and money matters. Best time to do that is a vision board, by the way, is January 4th to the 6th. January 10th to the 14th. And then there is a Sun trine Uranus on Algol. We know Algol as the shock and awe Medusa's head, but he's also the wealth star. He's going to be here, still here, was here in June, July, in your house of home, like where you live, your family of origin, your family hometown and homeland, your mother, your domicile, your private life, Uranus. It's very literal, the sky. When Uranus moved here in 2018-19, I began online YouTube work, right? Uranus rules the internet from home. So how are you going to be, doing some electrically charged energy in and about and from your home, basically, that the sun agrees with, right? The sun has a 2 thumbs up on it, right? The sun's like, I'm down. Well, let's get this thing off the ground from foreign lands, digital revenue, borderless income, it's positive from the place of lighting up your house of self-undoing, connected to father figures from your childhood. Maybe you're seeing patterns here, pattern recognition moments, eureka, and breakthrough on those self-undoing patterns. And you have great clarity and clear seeing and clear knowing and breakthrough energy, January 10th to the 14th. On the 13th, there's a full moon. It's in the sign of Cancer. That's your money. That's your earnings. That's your work house. Oh my God, that's your work house. And it's also your health house. Full moons show something to you. They light up the darkness of the sky. So you can see the way forward, and Mars is making decisions here. So seeing the way forward with a Mars conjunction to a full moon about what you need to eliminate in order for you to be well, healthy, proactively, in order for you to be exercising properly, for you to be finding your way home through this miasma of work and service to home moon and exaltation. What is the work that feels like you're at home in it? It feels like I've got my home here in this place of service and work. Now, look, Mars is cutting and severing, and it's in the house of pets with a full moon, if you have a pet, and if the pet is getting to leave this planet, and who knows, right? I would say a full moon conjunct Mars in the house of pets could indicate in the 6 months that follow the loss of a domestic animal. And then we move into, and don't forget that full moon with Mars is flowing, right? Flowing in a very beautiful way to that trio, Venus, Saturn, etc. So it can bring good financial results. But a full moon is financial results regarding work decisions, what you need to eliminate. And so what is left standing is what is needed, And so don't worry about making the decision fully yet. The full moon takes 6 months to unfold. I think major decisions are made when Mars is direct after February 23rd, and then actions follow. On January 14th to the 16th, Venus will square Neptune, 2 benefics in a square equals plus, luck and opportunity, expansion and growth through frictiony, gritty, urgent decisions and actions that must be taken, says the square. Well, Venus, she's in your second house, so it's about the money, honey. She's yet to be besieged between the difficult Saturn and Rahu, so she's still pretty well all superpowered on her own. And so she applies a square to Jupiter. Now, look, this could be a golden opportunity for a creative or entrepreneurial project or business endeavor. This could be a beautiful expansion in the life of one of your children. This could be some kind of financial well, no, it's just financial gain that you achieve in a lucky way, the house of good fortune. And this is a lottery house. So you never know. One of those scratch off tickets might yield a result here. So there can be an unexpected good fortune in your finances, but you need to make an action and take decision to claim it. And that is the 14th through the 16th of January. And a lucky financial break of some kind. Maybe your child has a lucky financial break as well, one of your children, or you're a lover and love partner. It could be okay for romance, but Venus is in a money house. So I'd say it's more about the other things that I mentioned. But if you're a single Aquarius and Venus is squaring Jupiter in the house of romance and Jupiter's retrograde, you probably have known this person in the past, right? It's not somebody brand new, and an old romantic partner from the past could come opening up an opportunity towards something good for you, maybe in the money department. Sun is opposite Mars, and that's a little bit of a conflict. You could say that you might have a really big, you want to quit your job, you want to cut away from an addiction. This is around the 15th, 16th of January. You have an argument with a colleague or coworker. You have a blowout that surprises you with a landlord. You have a severing or ending of some kind of financial debt. And these are things that can be positive. The opposition doesn't always have to be difficult, but sometimes the sun is an authority figure, and this is a sun in distant land. So an authority figure, father figure in a distant land or in a hospital setting. All right. And something to do with illness. It's not about you, right? Sun is a male who you would consider old enough to be father figure. Some people's husbands are that, for goodness sakes, women married to men 40 years older. Nicole Smith? And there may be older male in a male father figure in a hospital setting. That's what that can be. Okay. So who knows? Just some thoughts. Who knows? The sun will be trining the south node in the house of death. Who knows? There could be something like that for some of you. Again, January 14th to the 16th with the emphasis on 15th, 16th, 17th. On January 18th, 19th, and 20th, Venus will now be coming into that conjunction to Saturn. Now, the conjunction itself is fine. It's after the conjunction that I don't like it. So let's talk about the why of that. Yes, you guys know that I can't move the charts without doing this. So Venus co-joins Saturn. Love is hard. Love is beautiful and hard. Love endures. Aging beautifully with your face. Money requires perseverance, but it's exalted. So, you've got the spirit of luscious prosperity with a long game in mind. So that's kind of what's going on with Saturn and Venus here. Now, Saturn and Venus come together like 3 times like this. Every 30 years, you had these kinds of conjunctions, 93, 94, 95, I think, or 94, 95, 96 around that time. And they're back again. And, in essence, last year, this year, and next year, in the winter, December, January, this keeps happening. January, really. And it's kind of trying to train your Saturn to look at money differently, or resources or possessions or wealth differently. You want it exalted with Venus's higher spiritual impulse, especially with Neptune there. And Saturn says enduring, reliable, sustainable. And this confusion of these two planets is asking for the next year a new reset on that. This is different. The North Node is here, was not here in the 90s. This is indicating a destined expansion of your financial resources over the next year. However, be aware that Venus will bump into a problem part of the sky right after. We're going to say, really, it starts almost immediately, but let's go from the 19th, 18th, 19th. Let's go from the 19th. From the 19th, from the 19th of January to about February 1st, she's wedged between the North Node at 29 degrees and Saturn. That's like an enclosure between a rock and a hard place. 2 difficult planets, Rahu, greedy and desperate and grasping sometimes, and intensifying the malefic qualities of Saturn, and Saturn being stoic, stern, and rigid. It's like suddenly, after all this blooming of your finances, it takes a slowdown or a stillness or a reset energetically. You have to wait for something to happen. So that's kind of how you're dealing with things the last 10 days of January. Now, it makes sense for me, for example, because I'm going to be in Mexico taking like a 10-day vacation, and I'm not going to be working really. I'll have my videos coming out. So maybe that's just me going, wow, it's a still point in the money. It doesn't have to be bad. It's just not actively blooming energy in the finances. Just be aware of that. Don't launch something financially that you think is important with this enclosure of Venus between two malefic energies. Again, the 19th of February 1st. Whew, the sun is opposite Mars. I did that. As Venus co-joins Saturn, she does sextile Mercury and Capricorn. This means that Mercury is applying and giving her a hand. There's definitely a surge energy coming up just before this conjunction. I'd say the 15th, 16th, 17th, a financial gain from distant shores, or dreams at night that really help you curb an addiction. But either way, if it's Mercury in the 12th house, it's very subtle. Something deep within you is emerging as an idea, or as a dream, as a way of perceiving a reality with your mind that allows for you to come up with some exciting new ways to be prosperous. Okay, that's another way of seeing that. And this Mercury supports this conjunction as well. Then we also see that there's a little bit of a nodal wedge forming, the nodes of fate at 29 anaretic degrees, very intense degrees, very turbulent energy, okay? It's flowing here to the sun at Capricorn 29 as well. This little wedge is intense, and it's really active around the 18th, 19th, and indicates something going on as well to do with destined financial change, increase in your earnings, and things that you're plotting from behind the scenes. It's not small. It's a big shift in how your prosperity emerges in your life. A kind of shift is first in a lifetime. All right, now on January 21st to the 22nd, Mars is sextiling the wealth star Algol. Mars, ideas and actions and decisions to do with work, Algol, some wealth in from the home, internet technologies belong to Uranus, originality, invention, an original idea, and you must decide or act on it, and how you're going to come into some new way of being prosperous in and from your home. Now, because Mars is in the house of leasing property and landlords and stuff, a very interesting surprise from a perspective of a landlord leasing situation that takes you by surprise, but is positive and demands decisions and actions by the third week of February. This is happening again around January 21, 22. And then the sun is also, and Mercury is also opposite Mars. You might have noticed that Mercury is moving into that opposition to Mars. Let's move us into the mini trine here then, if I think that's where it is. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Let me get you back. Go Aquarius. I'm so tired, guys. Oh, God. Wake me up. Evanescence, wake me up inside. I need more coffee to get through this video. Whew. All right, here we are. January 21 to 22 is where I wanted to go first. Okay, January 21 to 22. So January 21 to 22, Mercury's beginning to build that opposition to Mars, and Pluto and the sun are together. So let's talk about that first. You are Pluto. You don't be afraid of Pluto. You are transforming. You are being purposed by a big, powerful transgenerational evolutionary impulse to grow into something bigger than you already are. That's so simple, right? No big deal. And, you really are the lead goose for humanity. And there's something about Aquarius, sun, moon, and risings, especially rising, that you might find January 20th to the 23rd, empowering, very empowering. All right, very much about empowerment, especially when it comes to matters to do with career as the moon begins moving through your 10th house. And that can be an empowered popularity with the people, for example, or with the moon in its fall, maybe an empowerment because you want to fall away from something in your career that you have a clear understanding from a big, powerful force beyond yourself that it is time to leave that part of your career behind. Mars is trining that moon, and it's a fated, destined decision, for example. And some of you may feel that to be a very strong impulse, January 20th to the 23rd. And Mercury keeps talking to Mars. That's another story as they build into a closer and closer opposition, just like we had already with the Sun. This is going to be pretty active around the January 23rd, 24th timeframe. This is going to be something that you might want to think about in terms of a decision. Mars to do with work and health, and Mercury taking that information from deep within your soul, from a dream at night, from talking to your spirit guides, from meditation. Your decisions are anchored in a deeper part of who you are. January 25th to the 27th is a beautiful mini trine that will be forming in our sky. Take a look at this. So what we're seeing on the 27th-ish here, you'll be able to see it here. Where did it go? There it is. Starting up around the 25th, 6th, 7th, there's this beautiful mini trine forming, which is, I call a grace triangle. And that's formed by Mars retrograding in your 6th house, flowing to Venus and Saturn. This energy, first of all, trine means blessed financial opportunities or big, easy turnarounds to do with health matters through food substances and ingestion of what you eat. But if it's a money story, then it's a work and money story. These are Artha houses. And this work and money glow up is just shining so brightly here. And did I even talk about the moon? I'm going to have to go back. Did I talk about your full moon? Yes, I did. Oh, thank God. Yes, I did. Full moon in Cancer, right? About changes in the work on the 13th of the month. I think I did. Okay. Destined changes to cut and to sever, something to do with work matters. Okay. Or home matters. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm deliriously 4.5 hours sleep. So the mini grand trine is pointing to unexpected positive surprises to do with homeland, property, and real estate. Shock and awe, but good. Connected to rental properties, tenancies, work situations, pets. Honestly, someone drops a baby dog, a puppy on your doorstep. I mean, literally unexpected surprises. You unexpectedly get a pet. That could literally be what this is. But you have the money to do it because you got Venus supporting that and Saturn, and it's your forever pet. You know, it's going to be a reliable, steadfast pet. Neptune says your dream soulmate pet, possess that pet or possess that rental property or money that is going to show up in an auspicious way, maybe that allows you to make a change in your home connected to your work, like maybe move to a place with bigger space for an office, or some change in the home environment can come that supports your health matters. You know, you're in a toxic home with mold or something, and you have a surprising opportunity to possess a new home. That's what I've got. All right. And you're going to then see that January 28th through 31st, the sun will trine Jupiter, always a good thing. Sun is going to be moving through your first house, and Jupiter is in your 5th house. The energy is collaborative opportunities that are going to emerge that are lucky and fortunate. It is about also winning things like winning money. Jupiter's in a winning money house, or gambling, gaming, winning money. Who knows? It could happen. Mercury rules the chunky money house where you would get those chunks of money that you won. And he's with this Pluto Sun energy. So there could be some money wins of some sort for some of you, January 28th to the 31st. It'll go a little longer than the 31st, just so you know, into early February. See, January 31st, how is the sun doing? 12 and 11. You'll still feel it into February, until about February the 3rd. So there's that February up to February 3rd, some really great money luck. And up till February 3rd, you still have Venus exalted in your 2nd house on the other side of the node. So if you're going to buy a lottery ticket, know your limit, play within it. You might not be too shabby the last day of January and the first 2 days of February. Finally, Venus and the Neptune conjunction is dreamy. And look at that beautiful triple conjunction of Neptune, Rahu, and Venus coming through the sky around February 2nd. But Venus is already touching down with Neptune on the 31st. So Venus says something like, let's open up a Pandora's box of exalted financial dreams come true, visionary wealth that the North Node wants to expand and blow out of proportion into something quite exquisite. That only gets better and bigger after Jupiter moves into your sixth house for the first time since 1800s, kind of flowing glow up of finance and work for you. That's coming up in June, right, of this year. You do want to get my all signs, your individual sign. Finally, we have a new moon in your sign. This new moon is happening in Aquarius. This is the moon. Let's go back in time. This is a new moon at 9 degrees, just so you know, of Aquarius. It's a fresh start, a new beginning, but it's with Pluto and Mercury. And therefore, there's a big qualitative difference in most of these moons for you. Mercury is a new beginning with something to do with writing, communicating, ideas, marketing, selling, and commerce that is also connected to riches and wealth, Pluto. And a new moon, new beginning indicates a fresh start in some way. And it will be up to 6 months that follow where you see what this new beginning is with a beautiful trine to Jupiter on the moon. It's going to be extremely positive, and it can look like money luck financially, and it can look like new beginnings with business creativity, with entrepreneurial endeavors, and even your children get some special vibes off of this. And they're as fortunate as you are in the wake of this moon, which lasts up to 6 months. It's not a one-off. So look forward to your Aquarius new moon. And, Lord Saturn wants to manage the moon in the money house. So ultimately, it also leads to more money or more resources or more wealth. Watch those 6 months after and see what happens. Thanks, Aquarius. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit my notification bell. It does help the channel grow. This girl needs to go get some kombucha with some green tea or something to keep myself awake. I don't think I'm blurry. I think what I've got going here is just dark skies in Vancouver, Canada. In my description box below, everything you need to know. My Patreon community and my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, you must be there to know when my readings open up. Those are the people who hear about it first. If you want to read with me, you're not going to have a chance if you're not on any of those platforms with me. My Substack, my Pluto Chronicles, I'm loving writing all about the journey of Pluto through the sign of Aquarius over the next 20 years. So I'm Aquarius rising. Go over there, check it out. See if you want to get my writing over there. It's free. Although you can up level to different tiers. You get a lot of content at the basic level at Substack. Everything is about me is in the description box. Thank you so very much. Enjoy 2025 January.